I'm looking at a movie on YouTube called The Great Pyramid, Mystery of the Shafts and Tunnels by Bruno Bliss, as you can see. And I just want to show you something stunning that showed up on my HD TV and shows up even more clearly when I am actually videotaping or photographing the screen of the HD TV with my other phone, which enhances the contrast. This is a picture of one of the shafts in the Great Pyramid, either the Queen's Chamber or King's Chamber shafts, I'm not sure which. But they've always said that there were no markings on the insides of these chambers. However, on my particular HD TV with my eyes, I can see a pale set of markings on either side of this entrance. And in this phone, it's exaggerated even more, as the phone seems to do color correction and enhanced contrast on a screen, which already is enhancing the contrast. And just take a look at what jumps out. Here is the full picture. And in this video you're seeing, which is taken from the phone, taken of the TV screen. There's the TV screen. Look at the imagery on the left and the right of the shaft. It pops out clear as day. It's visible to the naked eye watching the video, but in this phone, it just is incredible. Now, this imagery reminds me tremendously of Mayan, Aztec imagery. The symmetry along a vertical axis is just amazing. The shapes, the great detail in the shapes, the apparent almost faces. I mean, good Lord, if that doesn't look like a man with a giant headdress or a face. And I don't know why this has never been mentioned before. This particular video I'm watching is one of the better ones I've ever seen, because it discusses the multiple robot photography efforts that were made inside the shafts. This is on the other side. Look at this figure here. Looks like Hopi Indian type work. Additional figures here just jump out at you. Faces, skulls, who knows what, a man, an object, but whatever it is, and it's certainly open to interpretation. Machinery, perhaps. Whatever it is, there's something there. This looks so much like something you might see in India. A face, a headdress, and you just wonder if this was faded. Now this is interesting. That actually looks like writing. All I'm doing is holding the phone closer to the TV screen, which is obviously in a still grab. I've paused the TV. I'm actually watching this on a Roku. I'm watching YouTube through a Roku on the YouTube channel, and I have hit pause if anybody else wants to reproduce this effort. But I have just always heard that there was no imagery on the inside of the pyramids, and this just jumps out at you through the multiple layers of television enhancement. You know, it's interesting, the compression schemes used today to compress video actually enhance contrast. Once again, here's a wider shot. And I am going to, hang on a minute, I'll zoom in because I actually want to change I'm going to just drop this menu. You've seen what it is, and I'm going to drop the menu here. You can just do that. It'll still stay paused. I just did that by hitting the up button on the Roku, the up cross button, up arrow. So this particular image I need to find again online and see if this is apparent. But as I was saying, the particular video compression formats that are used today enhance contrast and in many ways, in many particular types of contrast, bring out things that are not visible to the naked eye. Even though they are a lossy compression, they actually do enhance certain details of video streams. Again, just fantastic stuff. And what you're seeing now is some interference fringes as I am extremely close. You can see there's the corner of the TV. This is a 42-inch TV, HD TV, 1080p, although the video stream from YouTube is likely less. Now you can see the color correction on my phone just changed. It's on auto color correction, auto exposure. What you're now seeing is what it actually looks more like to the naked eye on the television screen. It's still apparent, and there the phone just changed again as I move down the screen. But you can see that the phone itself, the additional layer of color enhancement by the phone itself in its auto correction really brings out these details. Just fantastic stuff, amazing stuff. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So the next thing to do is to find a high definition version of this still image, which is featured in this video. It is clearly a photo of one of the shafts in the pyramid, and we'll just have to determine which one it is. Now there seems to be something there, the corner, which may help us to identify it later. But this imagery is stunning. Just absolutely stunning. Look at the cover of the famous, I believe it's Quetzalcoatl, what's believed to be his coffin in one of the pyramids in Mexico or South America, where he is famously supposedly riding in his rocket ship into space. He's sitting back in a chair that resembles an astronaut's chair. Just the same style. And there's no reason that the rock on either side of the pyramid, on either side of this tunnel entrance, this shaft entrance, would naturally have these patterns that I can think of. It is interesting here that it almost looks like someone came along later and wrote a 3, although there's another one on the other side that it seems to be some symmetry to it, so it may be in the original stone. You know, much of whatever imagery may have been there originally when the builders built it may have faded. There's been a lot of speculation that there is a hydrogen and a sulfuric acid residue and even a smell when you enter the chambers. And if that's true, of course, that could have reacted with any pigments or anything else that was on the chamber walls and dulled it or even enhanced it. But what a shocking thing to see jump out. Now I'm going to zoom in here I'm going to go in. I cannot trigger my phone to pale this out so it looks more like it does just on the screen. This is more of an amber color than you see with your naked eye on the screen. The shot before that I had when my phone just auto color correct, that's more like the color you see on the screen when you freeze frame this on the TV. And then for some reason the phone really likes to adjust its automatic exposure and color level and make these much more amber, which makes it just jump out at you. Well, that's all. We'll have to look for this shot, this still shot, because the video maker must have gotten it from somewhere, and I'd love to see what that looks like in a high resolution when it is not part of a compressed video file that has had a MP4 or whatever compression technology that YouTube delivered this video with. changing the characteristics of that image. But what a stunning thing to see. That's all for now.